Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fredericksburg. We are situated on the ancestral homeland of the Rappahannock and Potawatomi tribes, and where enslaved people were forced to work on the land. We acknowledge that this land holds many histories, great stories, and the blood of a people. Thank you, that was fun. Good morning, I am Karen Calais. She, her, and I will be your worship associate this morning. If you are joining us as a guest or a first-time visitor, we are glad you are here. You are invited to leave your contact information at the welcome table in the foyer back there, because we would like to have the opportunity to get to know you better. Everyone is invited to fill out a card about a personal, significant joy or concern that you would like shared during the service. You may pick up and leave your card at the Joys and Concerns table, which looks, yes, there it is by that black screen back there. And our pastoral care team member will collect the cards and read them later in the service. Here at the UUFF, we strive to nurture learning, inspire spiritual insights, create compassionate relationships, and lovingly transform our community and the world. Please join us after the service for coffee and conversation. Now is the chance when we all get to greet one another, whether we're here or online. Online, if you have muted your audio or video, please take a moment now to unmute so that we can all greet one another face to face.
Hi, I think the host has disabled the video. But hello.
can go to sleep.
Hello, everyone.
It is so good to have you with us.
While that's powering up, I want to say hello to everybody. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Reverend Doug McCusker. I use pronouns he, him, his, and I'm the minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fredericksburg. And it's so nice to see you here on this. I think we're getting a little echo. Yeah. On this first Sunday of December. How did we get to December so fast? It's amazing. And our theme this month is wonder. I think I already said it. I wonder how we got here so fast. Yeah. So it's wonder. You may be wondering what these things are up here. We just put them in this week and we're learning how to use them. So please be patient with us as we do that. But a very generous person in the congregation helped us to acquire these screens. And so we are working our way through almost to the 21st century, almost there. Amanda Gorman is an American poet and activist. Her work focuses on issues of oppression, feminism, race, and marginalization, as well as the African diaspora. Gorman was the first person to be named National Youth Poet Laureate. Our invitational words this morning come from her stirring poem, The Hill We Climb, that she recited at President Biden's inauguration. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace. And the norms and notions of what just is not always justice. And yet the dawn is ours. Before we knew it, somehow we do it. And so we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony to all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true, that even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, not because we will never again sow division. But when day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new day blooms as we free it, for there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. Come, let us worship together.
Flame to that transcending mystery, which moves us to a renewal of the spirit and an openness to the forces that create and uphold life. Let us kindle in our hearts the feeling of awe and wonder as we experience time together in community.
Good morning. Our opening hymn is number 1000 in your teal hymnal, Morning Has Come. Please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing, please.
A new day dawns, once more the gift is given. Wonder fills this moment shared together. The light of peace he shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. Open our eyes to see that life abounds. Rounded velvet, rounded in among us. The light of liberty shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. I would like to invite now for our Wonder Box and our activity this morning, all those who are young and young at heart to please come up over here to this red rug. Woo! Come on, come on. Come on, Stanley. Hi. Hey, Stanley, before you sit down, can you help Roddy see what's in the box? Would you like to do that, Stanley? Yeah. Yeah, work your way through. Hi, everyone. This is Stanley. Open it. All right. Now look inside. Ooh. Okay. What is that? Show it to everyone. A little what? Rug. A little rug. Yes. It's a little rug. It's a little littler than that one. Now, what colors do you see? Green, red, blue. It's a bunch of colors. Thank you, Stanley. You can go sit down by your little airplanes. Yay. Okay, so does anyone know what this signifies? Evelyn knows. Yeah. What did you say? Evelyn said Chalaka Circle. Ooh. Chalaka. Yeah. For some, that may be a new word, but we've been celebrating Chalaka on this first Sunday of December for about 5 years now. It's a week-long celebration of our Unitarian Universalist principles. Now, usually we talk about the 7 principles, but last year at our annual meeting, we adopted the 8th principle. So now Chalaka involves 8 principles. The holiday first emerged in 2005 out of a wish to have a holiday organized around Unitarian Universalist values. So Chalaka begins on the first Monday, as I said, and it lasts 8 days. Now, each day, a chalice is lit. You know what? You all light chalices in your classrooms, right? So this would be have a chalice at home and light a chalice every day to honor that day's principle. So you do it for 8 days and you go in order. The first principle on the first day, which would be tomorrow, and then you go all the way through till the 8th principle. And then you don't just light the chalice, but you do something that day to honor the principle. So we're going to have a chance to kind of go over what that means. Did you want to say something, Tate? No, we are going to honor each principle each day. So it's a celebration to honor the principles. Yes. So Roddy, what are you holding in your hand? A bag. All right. And there must be something in the bag.
There must be, but I have no idea what it is because Reverend Doug just said, "Hey, Roddy, hold this bag."
My bag person. Okay. So what we'll do is you just hold the bag to someone. You get to pick who you offer the bag to, and they'll reach in and pull just one card out. Don't pick 2, just pull 1. Okay.
Well, you asked what's in the bag, so
Yeah.
why don't you reach in and see what comes out?
Just pull 1 out. Okay. What number does it say? Okay.
6.
So come with me. I feel like a game show host. Come with me and stand on the color that signifies that. So we have right here a big Chalaka rug. I'm sorry, you probably, no, one at a time, only. Tape or clay? You're tape, right? Yeah. Yeah, so just wait. We'll all get a chance, maybe, but Tate, you stand on this one. Yeah, all right. So this is a big version of that. Okay. Yeah, you want to hold that, please? So you are on the light blue. And it has what number? 6. Okay. Oh, you should be on that one then. Oh, no, you're right. You're right. This is 6. This is the 6th principle. Build a fair and peaceful world. This is the way children understand these principles. Build a fair and peaceful world. Do you know, Tate, how you would do that? Maybe during the week. Is there one way that you might do that?
Donate to charity.
Oh my goodness, that's a great way to do it. Awesome. Okay, way to go. All right, let's see our next contestant. No, stay here. All right, number 2. So you get to go over to the orange. This principle is the 2nd principle. Be kind in all you do. Can you think of a way that you could do that during the week?
So a way for me to be kind is to listen to my moms, and when they ask me to do something, I do it.
Wow. You heard that? Okay. Who's the next contestant? Brown. Okay, Gabe. Our 8th principle, the brown color, is dismantle racism. Can you think of a way that you might do that during the week?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Would anyone like to help? Any of you all? How can we dismantle racism? Yes?
Did you say you want one?
Okay, so I'll paraphrase what was said. It to be like a good ally or to be a good friend for someone who's getting picked on, especially if it's because of the color of their skin. All right, did I get it right? Awesome. You think you could do that, Gabe? If it ever happens? All right, wonderful. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, Evelyn, you have number 1, the first principle. Inherent worth and dignity of every person we know, but it's also each person is important. Can you think of a way that you could honor that?
It's hard because there's multiple ones.
Would anyone like to help? You can just shout it out now. I'll say it. What? Okay, so take time to really listen to someone. You think you could do that, Evelyn? Yeah. Who would you do that to? Your mom. Yeah, awesome. She's teaching today, yes. Okay, and we have Emily, correct? Awesome. And you're standing on the purple, which is the 7th principle. We take care of the earth. How do you think you might take care of the earth?
By saving it.
Saving the planet. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could recycle, right? You could recycle stuff so that it doesn't go into trash in the water and everything. Okay, who has the next couple of them? Anyone more? Okay, come on up. John Adams has the green. And green is our 4th principle. Search for what is true. How would you do that?
Oh,
Use a lie detector, he said. I don't like that. But that's a good answer. But can anybody think of another one? Yeah, it's one way to do it. Can anyone else think of one way? Another one. Say that again. Join services with people of other religions. Awesome. That's a great way to do it. And our last one goes to.
2, I think. So we have yellow.
We have light blue and the yellow. Okay, so Clay has the 3rd principle. It's the 3rd principle. We're free to learn together. How would you do that, Clay?
taking care of children.
Learning and taking care of children. All right. And our last principle, which is the light blue. Who has it? Oh, come on up, Stanley. Go stand over there. Imagine these are candles in your home. On the 8th day, you've got all these beautiful chalices lit. Okay, let's talk about this one. This is the 5th principle. Oh, it's exactly what you all were doing. All people have a voice.
Oh,
How would you do that, Stanley? All people have a voice. Or need a voice, I should say. All people need a voice.
mommy, mommy.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
I think we've learned that means giving the child a microphone.
Give a child a microphone. I'll go with that one. Yay. Yes.
I think I might have a better one for 4.
Okay. What's a better one for 4?
Maybe just trust.
Trust. Wow. I love that. Trust. There's a lot of wonderful things you can do this week. I encourage everyone to do this at home. And thank you to all our Chalika Chalice lights. Yay.
Well, on that happy note, I want to say happy Chalaka Eve, everyone. The children are about to head off to the classroom. They're all going to be together today with Miss Jenna, who is really the person who brought Chalaka to us 5, 6, I don't know how many years ago. So we're very grateful for that. We're going to learn all kinds of things. And I could use your help to sing them out. There it is. There are the words. You ready? We're heading out. Here we go. You've got the light of love within you. Go on your way in peace. So let your light shine, the world awaits you. There they go in peace. Nicely done.
Okay, what's next? Oh, yes. That was a lot of energy, wasn't it? Yeah. So now we're going to take it down a notch. All that energy is inside you. So I invite you now to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Or if not, you can just let your eyes rest. Maybe focus on something in front of you, like a spot. We're going to do a little bit of guided meditation. Take a nice, deep breath. Slowly, and then let it out. Feel that relaxing. Do one more. Breathe in and let it out. I would like for you to now use your imagination. As you sit in your chair, you know that you're connected to many people here in the room. Now just feel it. Feel it, not with your brain, just with your intuition. I'd like to invite you to use your imagination. Imagine you are in a field and it's real dark and it's night. And you're with your best friends and you feel real safe. And no one has a light. And it's really, really bright with stars. Imagine all the stars. Have you ever been in a place where it is so bright with stars that the Milky Way actually looks like milk? Yes. As Carl Sagan said, billions and billions of stars are out there. There's some that are shining light that is thousands of years old, and it's finally getting to your eyes. And you know, those are just the ones that you can see. And there are billions more that you cannot see. How does that feel to be connected to all those stars? Because we all came from the Big Bang. And it's still happening. Everything is still moving and expanding in the universe. Our planet was part of that same event billions of years ago. Those stars and our star, the sun, are all from the same place. And our Earth is made up of stardust, and we are made up of stardust. We are connected to the universe, even to those stars that you cannot see, because we all come from the same origin. I invite you to sit in silence now and just sit with that feeling of connection. I invite you to breathe in one nice cleansing breath from all the universe into your lungs, and then exhale and give it back. You may open your eyes now and come back into the room.
Now we'll move to a reading by Max Boot that I think you'll find interesting and inspiring. I am grateful above all to the brave people of Ukraine for all their sacrifices and successes in the battle for freedom. They are fighting not just for the right to determine their own future. They are fighting for the universal principles embodied in our own Declaration of Independence. Ukrainians are animated by the spirit of nationalism, the most powerful force in the world for the past 2 centuries. But it is not a xenophobic, illiberal nationalism, sorry, of the sort that Putin espouses. Ukrainians are fighting for an old-fashioned liberal nationalism that harks back to George Washington, Simon Bolivar, and Giuseppe Garibaldi. Their nationalism is expansive enough to include both Russian and Ukrainian speakers, heterosexuals and the LGBTQ community, men and women, Orthodox and Catholics, Muslims and Jews. It is a little short of a miracle that Ukraine, which saw at least 1.5 million Jews die during the Holocaust, now has a Jewish president and defense minister. And both provide inspirational leadership in the midst of a terrible struggle. Most Americans aren't making any real sacrifice to support Ukraine. In fact, we are making a small but invaluable investment in our own security and that of our allies. It is the Ukrainians who are sacrificing everything to fight for the liberal democratic values that we hold dear. If they win, and make no mistake, they are winning, Ukrainians will strike a mighty blow for freedom that will resonate across the world. Liberal Democrats will cheer, dictators will cower. The Ukrainians are showing how precious freedom is. For that, I am immensely grateful.
Our sermon today is titled, Wonder Who We Will Become as a World. Now, of course, that's a rhetorical question. I don't claim to have the answer, but I wonder how us as humans will fare long after I am gone. And all I have to go on is our past and our present. With roughly 8 billion people in the world, you'd think that it would be impossible to put your finger on an overall emotional state of the world. But unless you've been living completely in your own head, you can probably feel the anxiety and the fear that seems to be permeating our collective consciousness. It feels like we are heading toward a waterfall. Imagine sitting on a raft on a flowing river. The water seems to be getting faster as you hear the roar of water, but you can't see what lies ahead. All you know is that upstream, things were calm and predictable, but now something has changed and it makes you anxious. You are being pulled to something and you're not quite sure what to do. I feel that anxiety in my bones. I have noticed for the last decade or so, people getting whipped up into a frenzy and turning on other people as convenient scapegoats for all the problems that we share. People are being called out as others, as if they don't deserve to be with us. If any of you get the Freelance Star, today's paper said, "Are celebrities normalizing hate?" That was the headline. And it was about stuff that this rapper Ye is doing, which is anti-Semitic. Well, you know, this is a global phenomenon, but in our country, it is fueling violence and ingenious ways to discriminate against people who are different. Now, you can chalk it up to the current political climate or culture wars, but this has been growing for quite a while. I'm seeing the fear turn to anger and then morphing into hate. In some cases, this kind of tribalism has jumped over the line and has entered dehumanizing conspiracy theory territory. From time to time, we all live lives of quiet desperation. But lately, the desperation is getting quite loud. In this day and age of the internet, social media, so-called reality TV, and commercialized news, the filters that contain our everyday healthy level of fear have broken down. When I was a child, my parents and the elders were terrified over the possibility of a nuclear war. In our country, we understood it as the consequences of an us versus them confrontation between the free world and the communist world. This at least made it easier to ignore the racial oppression that existed right here at home. And the safety valves from constant fear of mutual annihilation were proxy wars in Southeast Asia, like Vietnam, and civil wars in South America, like in El Salvador. So what are we afraid of today? Ironically, we seem to be afraid of the very thing that we fought so hard to have: world community. In those 50-odd years, we have become more and more interconnected as a world. Millions of global transactions occur every day. Goods and services crisscross the planet in constant motion. People are moving seamlessly between borders, and ideas are flowing among cultures. America, United States of America, has been the global sheriff, ensuring that markets open up so that freewheeling capitalism can flourish. That has been our mission since the end of World War II, and we've mainly succeeded. The goal was to establish a global economy in which the United States remained at the top. The game plan has been to take advantage of relatively cheap labor and resources wherever you can find it, anywhere in the world. You could call it colonialism 2.0, in which one of the colonies, albeit made up of primarily European descendants, rose to the top. But it's the same behavior, but kind of in a different way. And America did such a great job of opening the free flow of labor, capital, education, and raw materials that now we see emerging countries like Brazil, Russia, India, and China as economic rivals to whom we are inextricably linked. Their success is not the threat. The threat, as many people see it, is not being able to control what these nations will do with their newfound economic power. The other issue is the competition of raw materials with very, very little regard for the impact that it has on the long-term sustainability of the planet and on vulnerable populations. Of course, that is an immense topic for another talk or many talks. And of course, I have talked about that a lot. But it is symptomatic of a world structured around competition. Lofty ideals such as cooperation and peaceful harmony are seen as means to an end of power and control. And when that feels like it's slipping away, or at least being exerted by others on us, it breeds fear and anxiety. So I believe that the waterfall that we are approaching is a new world community which we don't control, in which we must be equal partners facing global issues of mutual concern. We can embrace it, or we can fear it. When we look at the world through the lens of scarcity, cooperation and harmony are seen as the culprits of unwanted change. The other person is seen as a rival, hell-bent on taking what is ours. The other person cannot be trusted, especially when they look, think, and act differently than us. That, of course, is an ethical, spiritual, and emotional dead end. Conquest, oppression, and wanton extraction of the earth has brought us to where we are today. From here on out, that path leads to mutual annihilation. But when we look at the world through the lens of abundance, we see cooperation and harmony not as ends. Not as means, but as ends. In a TED Talk, journalist and philosopher Leah Diskin relates a beautiful and touching story of a tribe in Africa. I've told this story before. She explained how an anthropologist had been studying the habits and customs of a tribe. When he finished his work, he had to wait for the transportation to take him home. He'd always been surrounded by the children of the tribe, so to help pass the time before he left, he proposed a game for the children to play. He had bought lots of candy and sweets in the city, so he put everything into a basket and then put a beautiful ribbon on top of it. He placed it under a tree, and then he called the kids together. He drew a line on the ground, and he explained that they should wait behind the line for his signal. And when he said go, they should rush over to the basket, and the first to arrive there would win the candies. When he said go, they unexpectedly held each other's hands and ran towards the tree as a group. Once there, they simply shared the candy with each other and happily ate it. The anthropologist was very surprised. He asked them why they had all gone together, especially if the first one to arrive at the tree could have won everything in the basket, all the sweets and candies. A young girl simply said, "How can one of us be happy if all the others are sad?" Africans call this Ubuntu, roughly translated as I am because we are. I am because we are. Archbishop Desmond Tutu wrote, "Ubuntu is the presence of being human, the essence of being human. It embraces hospitality, caring about others, being willing to go the extra mile for the sake of another. Ubuntu is a belief that a person is a person through other persons, that my humanity is caught up, bound up with yours. When I dehumanize you, I dehumanize myself. The solitary human being is a contradiction in terms. Therefore, you seek for the common good because your humanity comes into its own in humanity, in community, in belonging." In his book, Tattoos on the Heart, Greg Boyle wrote, "Kinship is more than service. It's being one with the other. When we feel belonging, we enter oneness that transcends separation. That oneness, that belonging, that kinship doesn't depend on blood. It depends on love. Now, we don't love one another out of obligation. Love happens in its many shades and varieties when we connect with the common essence of humanity in another person. When we see through the layers of differences and through the walls of protection encasing our hearts. Our universalist ancestors called this the divine spark that we as humans can intuitively recognize in each other. It's a quality of being that transcends the boundaries between me and you and everything else. I am because we are. It's a realization that our humanity is made by community. Now, humans have always sensed that bond of kinship from the earliest family and tribal units living in the forest or huddled in a cave around the warmth of a fire. Human history is essentially the story of expanding that kinship to larger and larger units. The kinship of human relations is the backdrop of the Unitarian Universalist worldview. It forms the vision for humanity that we call the beloved community. It serves as that universal spark of peace and love that makes us one. One true family inhabiting a collective home. One healing spirit guiding us to our true nature. One source of energy more powerful than all the bombs in the world. In the words of Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, someday, after we have mastered the winds, the waves, the tides, and gravity, we shall harness the energies of love. Then, for the second time in history of the world, humanity will have discovered fire. Teilhard de Chardin was a brilliant geologist and Jesuit priest who believed that evolution is drawing humanity toward a spiritual unity. He was one of the pioneers who unlocked the mystery of plate tectonics. He studied the physical world on a global scale. He was even credited with the discovery of Peking man. He knew humanity on an evolutionary scale. In this short poem, he speaks of love as an energy source more mysterious and more powerful than the physical forces that unify and balance our planet. He expresses a hope and a vision that humanity will one day align like the electrons in an atom to produce a transformational achievement akin to the discovery of fire. Well, I have wrestled with Teilhard de Chardin's philosophy that we are moving toward unity. Is love a naive belief in the goodness of humanity? Or can it really be the next step in our evolution as a sentient and social network beyond the individual ego? Now, it is very hard to live into that vision. From the beginning, our lives are bombarded with socialized messages that shrink our bonds to smaller and smaller units of belonging. Kinship is chopped up into a myriad of pieces like race, creed, ethnicity, nationality, sexual orientation, gender, class, and generation. These classifications, of course, are artificial constructs. They are made up by society to simplify ways that we are different, but also how we are related to others. And that can be a good thing if it reinforces an understanding of how we are connected. If we could shape our mental model of our place in the world around these intersectional identities and connections, we would see that everyone and everything are connected. Universal kinship through love that establishes peace and world community has been and will be a hard and long struggle. And we all have a part to play to make it happen. When we embody the interdependence of all life and act on it to build community, we find peace in our neighborhoods, in our congregations, and in our cities. When we learn to live into the spirit of Ubuntu and recognize that we belong to each other because we are made by each other, then we find peace in the nations and in the world. It's the relationships that we form out of our kinship with each other that ultimately matters. And when we see that glimpse of shared humanity, that divine spark in another person, and we reach out in love, we all matter. May it be so, and may we be the ones to help make it so. Amen. Blessed be.
During the offertory, you are invited to come forward and silently place a pebble into the bowl of water for any joys and concerns that you are holding in your heart. The ministries of this fellowship continue to wholly depend on the generosity of spirit from our friends and members. If you are online, we encourage you to donate via text message or by visiting our website and using the online donation form that's on our homepage. We will post the text number and link in the chat and on the screen. Greeters will be coming around with a basket for in-person donations. May all that has been shared and freely given here help us to grow in generosity and caring for the world of which we are a part.
Good morning. I'm Bruce Callender, and I'm a
Starts with who we are. We may not be able to see the future with clarity, but we can live each day as one step to where we want to be. We may not be able to avoid catastrophe, but we can choose how we want the world to spin, for we are a microcosm of the macrocosm. We emerge anew with every sunrise into a mystery that beckons us to be the change that we want to see. So go in peace, serve the world, and return in love. It's Jason. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Our closing hymn is number 318 in your gray hymnal, We Would Be One. Please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing, please.
We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of love and service. May it be a catalyst for spiritual growth and social justice as we carry it outside these walls to the world we live in until we are together